the rationale for this paper. This paper examined the effectiveness of anti-money laundering measures undertaken by banks in Bahrain as a case study. The validity of such measures is established when the following conform to FATF recommendations. FATF is intergovernmental body established in '89, issued 49 recommendations. So these recommendations, they were the tool or the path each country around the globe they have to follow. So some of these recommendations have the tools to let the bank or the compliance officer in each bank to monitor the process of controlling the suspicious activity. Key findings. PwR in 2011 and Rolai state that mitigation of money laundering demands eradication of placement stage. From literature, placement stage is really a serious stage. Once the money placed in a financial system, it will be difficult to stop the other two process, which we will explain it later on. Customer due diligence and enhanced due diligence. These are, as I said, the tools which is used by FATF organization to let the countries to comply with them, which has increased the effectiveness of the compliance within the financial entity. Risk-based due diligence, suspicious activity reporting. These are also additional tools, which is stated by PwR in 2011, recommends the banks to utilize assessment of reporting system to assess the customer's identity, their demand for the services. It looks like a screening or vetting for each client who applied for services within the financial institution. One of the key findings was the failure to collaborate to exchange the information between the bodies in a country, like the private sector and the public sector. So some of the scholars state that the Section D in FATF explained the underlying reasons for failure to member states to collaborate, exchange the information, especially of the suspicious activity report and suspicious transaction report. Here I'm gonna explain some samples of the taxonomy have been made. Well, there is no unanimity among the noted researchers and institutions regarding the theoretical of foundation of money laundering, but blending the views between some scholars. It is possible to classify money laundering in two categories. The first one as a money laundering. So it is showing that the criminal act, predicate crime, and the process of the money laundering. The second category is the anti-money laundering, which is explained the conventions related to this phenomena, the policy, regulation, and law. Well, the next slide, this is the conceptual and knowledge gap. The core of the research, which is showing the existing problem, placement, integration and layering, or layering integration, and how we could stop this problem by the effective tools, as I said, KYC, CTR, STR, SARS, customer due diligence, risk-based enhanced due diligence. And through that will be the mitigation through process. So I could show you the failure, which is the main gap, the contradictory between the measures, especially the conventions talking about the human rights, privacy, secrecy, PEPs, which is politically exposed persons, and others. In this diagram, the just showing the function of the money laundering report officers, and has like a flag for the over-dependent from these people to file STRs. And the main issue in this diagram, which is the non-transparent money laundering mitigation practices accumulating in money laundering elevation. So once we be transparent in the whole transactions, definitely we will gain a tool to control and mitigate the money laundering. Conclusion: the review defines the relevance of implementing AML measures by banks. Their adoption is required to monitor, regulate, and prevent money laundering. It is also observed that the effective of AML measures make it possible to guide banks to take the lead to dismantle the three stages of laundering money. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ali, for this presentation. And now we may open the floor for questions. Anybody has any question? Yes, Dr. Saeed.
Thank you very much for this presentation. Now, I think you are still in the literature review, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Now, as you know, literature review, when we talk about the gaps, this means that I have to find it and to make it initiated so that when you discuss it and you fill it later on, you will be able to choose the methodology that covers these gaps. Well, from your presentation, you have just presented some taxonomies, some tools, without identifying the results of these issues stated by the scientists. Can I know, how did you recognize that the gaps that you mentioned, you have obtained them?
Back in this slide.
Yeah, in the conceptual model.
Yeah, it is not a conceptual model, to be honest, but it is.
Gaps, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can see the main gap in the failure for the contradictory between the measures. This is what I have found in the literatures. And there are some other gaps supporting the main So this is the main gap, as I said to you, and there are other failures, or I'm gonna call them like a fault line, which I have found them in the literatures, which is supporting my argument. Is this clear?
Does this mean that these gaps are gotten from your perception?
No, this is from the literature.
From the literature, from the scientists.
Exactly, yes.
So it's better to mention what are the scientists that they talk about these gaps.
Sure. Okay, sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now I have a question for you, and if If you feel you don't need to answer, don't answer. Now, the question is this, and it just came to my mind the theory of the surplus value of Karl Marx. You know, Karl Marx thinks that the capitalists, basically they make money on the back of the workers. So simply means the profit they make, they steal it from the workers. And here you are reminding me, this is an illegal money, has been basically kept in the bank because of illegal activities. But it's again, according to the theory of Karl Marx, that the profit made by the capitalists are also illegal. Do you see any parallel in between why you don't want to accept, let's say, the money of laundering, and at the same time you're accepting such an excessive amount of profit being made by the capitalists?
Well, example on this, I could add on it, Panama scandals, HSBC scandals, and some other scandals, which is affecting the whole world. This is what we are talking about. We are talking about contradictions. We are talking about opaqueness
Okay, now
in the
let's
financial system.
how you are doing basically about money laundering in Bahrain. How serious the problem based on the research that you have done?
Well, if you compare Bahrain with other countries, it is, we have no serious money laundering in our financial system.
Then what
But
are
we
you
do
doing
have
based-
we do have a real cases in Bahrain. We could use them as an example.
Then what are you trying to achieve in your thesis if there is no really serious case of money laundering in Bahrain?
Yeah, I'm going to use Bahrain as a case, but we have to keep or to bear in our mind.
Yes.
I'm talking about a global issue. Bahrain as a case study. So things will be implemented in Bahrain, could be implemented in Saudi Arabia or UK or any other country in the world. And I'm talking about international standards here.
Oh, so you're only using Bahrain as a case study for
Exactly.
this, but you're looking at money laundering from a global perspective. And the
Exactly.
impact.
As a policy and standards, yes.
But would it be better, for example, to look at Dubai of being a center today is being recognized for money laundering?
Well, I cannot say that because, no one, and I will tell you something, or I could add something here. Walker in 2009, he was trying to calculate the volume of money laundering around the world.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it is always the researcher, they were talking about estimation. There is no real number of the volume of laundered money. So we cannot say X country or United States or Bahrain or any other country, they are the center of the laundered money.
So what is really the conclusion of your study? What are you trying to achieve?
I'm trying to achieve a model
Yes.
that may assist Ministry of Finance and Financial Intelligence Unit to dismantle the stages of laundered money, the 3 stages.
So you are basically trying to somehow formulate a model
Yeah.
by which of what? Trying to detect what kind of laundering?
I could show you that model.
Yeah, just in 1 minute, please.
Yeah.
Because,
So this is still is like a developing model
okay.
from existing literature. Just showing the standard tools, the 3 stages, and I have added the dismantle circle, but still under developing to justify it theoretically.
I think that's a question.
Yeah, yes, please.
I know you have only less than a minute, but just a comment regarding the way you had the gap on fault line. I think Dr. Said raised an important issue that, okay, you drew a very nice picture, but I think that should be accompanied by maybe a table of the reviewers or the references that actually suggested that these are actually fault lines, and then what's the scholarly contribution that you're going to add debrief those gaps, because
Sure.
you are eventually concerned with the scholarly contribution as opposed to the practitioner contribution, which I think you have actually attempted or started to explain in your other model. So the movement from the literature to the other model has to be justified.
Sure. I will take it into account.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any question?
Not a question, but I just wanted to ask that we could ensure before the next presentation that the screen is visible, because it was blocked by somebody standing in front of it.
Okay. Okay, then thank you very much.
Thank you very much.